Hi, my name is Robert. This video is designed to give you step-by-step detailed instructions on completing the task at hand. Please read the comments in the About section of this video. It has valuable information and updates. My YouTube channel has a disclaimer video that I encourage you to watch. And please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you found what you're looking for. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to replace the front O2 sensor on this car. I'm not sure if I have gotten the code about this O2 sensor or not. But when the O2 sensors get old, over 100,000 miles on them, they start costing you some efficiency and fuel, and it's best to go ahead and replace them, preferably with an OEM sensor. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, even though I don't have a check engine light, because my gas mileage has dropped probably about 10% in the last 20,000 miles. Here's everything you should need to replace an O2 sensor on a Volvo 850 or S70. I got my torque wrench, if you want to torque it down right, 1/2-inch breaker bar. I got a cheater bar, a scissors for cutting zip ties. I got a few zip ties, a screwdriver, small, like eyeglass repair type screwdriver, a sensor, and some anti-seize, and my O2 sensor tool. That's a 7/8 or 22 millimeter, and a 1/2-inch breaker bar fits it. You do want to get the motor open as soon as you can and let the exhaust parts go ahead and cool down. You want to make sure you got a jack that's in good condition, and you see this one has that little opening on it. Then you come under the driver's door and you'll see the jacking peg right there. The front of that jack clips in there. Go ahead and set the parking brake or chalk the wheels on the other side and jack the car up. That'll jack the whole side of the car up. Whatever you do, do not get under this car with one of these jacks under there. It's probably the most unsafe jack I've ever dealt with as long as I've been monkeying around with cars. It's best if you put this car up on ramps when you do this job, but I'm going to go ahead and put a jack stand under it. As you can see, I got the jack stand under that little tri-pivot point, and I went on ahead and lowered the car down a little bit on the jack stand. Do not get under this car with one of these jacks. Next thing you want to do is figure out which one of the O2 connectors is down there that you need to disconnect. So go into the car, identify which O2 connector it is, and unplug it from the wiring harness. From underneath, I traced it to the one kind of right there in the middle. It looks like it has a zip tie going over the top of it, so it's evidently been removed before, and possibly the latches that hold it in have been broken. So I think I'm gonna try to get it loose from up top here and go from there. I'm gonna get a little closer and show you how it comes apart. Okay, I'm gonna unplug my brake ABS thing so I can have reach and access to those sensors down there. That just always seems to be in the way for me. Now you're looking at the O2 sensor connector. I'm going to take a pair of scissors and cut that. Now you want to get a little screwdriver like this or a little smaller. This is a small screwdriver. Put it down in the O2 sensor latch. Wiggle it in there, twisting it back and forth, and that will begin to release the O2 sensor. Once you get it like that, you start pulling it out and unplugging it at the same time. It's like geared in there. Kind of takes two hands. You pull it up a little bit, pull it out. So this comes up and out as the plug comes out. So I'm going to do that with two hands. As I pull the latch loose, the sensor can start to unplug. So I'm going to work that loose a little bit more, and it should pretty much unplug itself. Okay, that's how you unplug the O2 sensor. Now you go down the bottom and route the wire to where you can pull the sensor loose. And you want to leave that just like it is. And that's the end of the O2 sensor connector. I come back under the car for the sensor, and the wire has a wire tie there. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that wire tie loose and then put my O2 sensor wrench on the O2 sensor and break it loose. As you can see, I actually have an O2 sensor puller. I don't know, you could probably put a box-end wrench on it, but it's best to have one that cups around those wires and goes 3/4 of the way around those bolts. These sensors sometimes gets kind of stuck in there. Also, a 1/2-inch bar fits in there, either a ratchet or a breaker bar. I'm going to put a breaker bar on there with a cheater and go ahead and try to break it loose. Some people spray PB Blaster on these sensors a day or two ahead of time just to make sure they'll come loose for them without any hassle. I'll see how this one acts. The old sensor broke loose without too much hassle. So as you can see, it's loose. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that sensor out, and I'm going to put the new sensor in. And when I put the new sensor in, I'm going to put it in with some anti-seize on the thread just to try to prevent it from rusting in there. So next time I need to replace it, hopefully it'll be easy to come out as well. I got the new sensor installed and it's torqued down. I'm going to post the torque value on it. Now I'm going to route the wire back through and up to where the plug needs to go. And I'm going to secure this wire down here with another zip tie so the wires don't kind of run wild under here. I got those wires secure, so I'm going to go up top and plug it in. Yeah, I see my O2 sensor wire here. So I'm going to route it over to the other side and get that plugged in. And as I plug that in over here, it's only going to go in one way. One side of this O2 sensor has 2 notches on it. The other side has 2 notches, but it has a fin on one end. That's only going to go in one way. As you can see, it started to go in pretty easy. Once I get it set in, I start to close the clamp on it, and it locks itself in place. So there it is, the O2 sensor is plugged in. Since my clips are not locking it in place, I don't want this to work its way out, so I'm going to put a zip tie on it real quick. Alright, it's almost impossible to get the zip tie to be right in place the way you need it. So what I do is, I get it started just wrapped around the cord with one hand, because you can't get 2 hands under there. Once I get a couple of clicks on the zip tie, I put it in place. Okay, I got a couple of clicks on it, so I'm going to have the zip tie come through one side and around to the other side and over the top. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it tight. And as you can see, I'm using 2 small zip ties. So I'm going to go ahead, tighten that up, clip the ends off, and I'll be done. After I get this on, there's a bracket down there that the O2 sensor connector slips in to keep it in place. You can see the other 2 may be in place. You want to make sure that's secure in place. After that, you want to go ahead and plug your brake ABS thing back in place. If you had a code P0133 or P0134, go ahead and hook your scanner up and reset your code. If you have any questions, go ahead and post them. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.